Hello guys, welcome to the second episode of NischiCodes, and today we are going to solve a brand new problem, lead code 11, one of the most commonly asked interview questions, that is container with the most water. So let me solve this. First let's read out the problem statement. It's a medium level category problem. I'll solve it in Java. You're given an integer array height of length n. There are n vertical lines drawn such that the two endpoints of the ith line are I comma 0 and I comma height of I. Correct. So let us just draw this out right now. So compare this and we'll get to know here from this example here. You're given an integer array height of length n. Okay. There are n vertical lines drawn such that two endpoints of the ith line are I comma 0. Okay. So they're like vertical lines that is given to us. And something they have given that it is starts from I comma 0 to I comma height of I, that is the maximum length of height. Find two lines that are together with x-axis form a container. So what is a container? So container can be visualized as a water bottle. Container can be visualized as a water bottle. So it needs a width, also it needs a height. Correct? It needs a width and it needs a height. Return the maximum amount of water a container can store. Notice that you may not slant the container. Maximum amount of water it has to store. So just imagine the maximum amount of hot water that I can store is, just imagine. So suppose I take the maximum height, suppose there's height of 100, but the width is just 1. So if I store this, it stores a volume of 100 cross 1, that is height into width. But suppose in the same example I take a height of 25, I take a height of 25 and I take a width of 30. Okay, I take a width of 30. So what does it store now? The volume 25 cross 30. So what should we do right now here is minimize the height, minimize the height as much as possible and take the width. Once you minimize the height and take the largest width possible, so the largest width possible should be equal to the right calculate first before solving this, and take the maximum width. Let's just keep it till there right now, and then we'll see. So first solution problem, the example that they've given us to us is this one. So what have they given here is, so they have given us this container of water, this container of water. Where is it? Okay, let me just draw this container of water, something like this. And yes, they have given this container of water to us, and small, big, medium, medium, big, small, something like this they have given to us, right? Yes. So input height is an array 1. So the height of this array is just 1. This array height is 8, 6 and so on, and you can see this thing. The maximum height here is 49. The above vertical lines are represented by array. In this case, the maximum area of water the container can contain is 49. How have they arrived at the solution 49 is, they have taken the maximum width and they have taken or minimized the height that is actually given to us. So how do I do that? So now let us start coding the solution right now. So first take the length of the height array. Next, I'll take two pointers. I'll keep one pointer. Let me explain the solution first to you. I'll keep one pointer here left and I'll keep one more pointer right here. This is the left pointer and this is the right pointer. Two pointer approach. Next, I will take current area as one variable and I'll initialize it to 0, and I'll take maximum area as one more variable and I'll initialize it to 0. Now what I can do is I'll take one variable called as width and I'll initialize it to 0. Next, let me run a for loop. Now let me run a for loop while left less than equal to right. Correct? While left less than or okay, we'll check this test condition. What did I tell? We have to minimize the height. So let me take one more variable called int heights and I will minimize this variable. I will take the minimum value for this variable. Okay. So to take the minimum variable, minimum height of this variable, let me first define this variable here so that there is something to compare this with. Yes. So to take the minimum of variables, what I'll do is I'll compare height of left and height of right. Right. So now what am I doing here? Whatever the pointer left is present, if the height is 1, and whatever the pointer right is present, if this height is 8, I choose for my new variable an integer value that is minimum of 1 and 8, that is 1 currently. Correct. I'll choose this. Choose the minimum height represented by the two pointers. So in the next, what I'll do is I will take the width. Width would be equal to right minus left. As I told, I need to maximize the width, right? So how do I maximize the width? To maximize the width, this is the width, I need to just take a difference of right minus left. So width is always right minus left. Next maximum when we do, we will try to do this. Current area will then be equal to a product of height into width, right? Current area then will become a product of height into width. And next, maximum area will then become a maximum of maximum area or current area, right? Now, so from this we have already got a maximum area. What am I trying now? Once I get the minimum height and once I get the width, I multiply both of them to get one current area. For now, if the width is 8 and minimum area is 1, I get a current area of 8. Now then I track a variable called as maximum area, which tracks the maximum between this is 0 and this is 8. What is the maximum between 0 and 8? It is 8. So it overrides the 0 variable with 8 and stores the 8 value in maximum area. So now what I have to do, 8 cannot be the maximum area. I have to check all of them. So then I have to move these pointers left and right. So when do I move the pointers left and right? So for that, there is one good condition. If two if conditions you can write. If height of left, if height of left is less than height of right, correct? Then what I can do is I will increment the left pointer, else I'll decrement the right pointer. Let me come this, explain this. Move the 2 pointers as required. And then I simply return the maximum area. Return the maximum. Right. So what am I doing here? If the length represented by this is less than this, then I move the left pointer because I need to shrink the window. I need to shrink the window. So next only I consider now this entire thing. Next I'll consider only this entire thing. Next I consider only this entire thing. Next I consider only this entire thing. Next I consider only this entire thing. Until the condition left less than right is true, I go on shrinking the window if height of left is less than height of right. If height of right somewhere is less than height of current height of left, suppose height of left is 8 and height of right is 2, then I go on decrementing the right pointer and shrink the window towards the left side. Now I'm shrinking the window towards the right side, then I shrink the window towards the left side. Correct? Understood? Then that is how I try to do this problem. And let me check the solution. There might be an error possible, that is height star width. Okay. Yes. So this should be declared as heights because that's the variable. Let's check in here. Yes. So as I told, our solution is absolutely 100% correct. It's a two-pointer approach for this solution, and we have finally solved it, and it beats a record of 83.14% on LeetCode. Let me check the constraint that is actually present in the solution. So once I go here, the constraints are n is the height of the length of the height array. And as I told, see, this is very, very important here. They've already given clearly mentioned the n value will be between 2 to 10 power 5. So as soon as they give the value 10 power 5 and height of 5 is less than 10 power 4, you know that you need a big O of n time complexity solution. You cannot use a big O of n square solution, won't work. You need a big O of n solution. So this is LeetCode 11 container with most water frequently asked question. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be back tomorrow with more episodes. Thank you so much.